So today we're talking about signs of struggle. Okay, so let's talk about some signs. So you waking up every day with no clear direction. That is a problem. Okay, you waking up every day. You don't know which way you going. You don't know what's gonna happen this day. You don't know whether you coming, whether you going. Like, that is a problem. Okay, you need to have some sort of routine, some sort of pattern to your day, and you can't just sit up there and let other people dictate your day for you. Like, when you waking up with no clear direction, that gives other people opportunity to have power over you, and now they're instructing and dictating how you move and what you do with your time, and that's a problem. That is a problem. Okay, that is a problem. Constant scrolling. You scrolling social media, you on. Listen, it's tempting, baby. TikTok ain't called TikTok for no reason. Okay, TikTok is not called TikTok for no reason. Okay, but you can't be sitting up there because it's TikTok in your time away. TikTok, baby. You look up and you just spend all your time on TikTok. Okay, that is a problem. Whether it's TikTok, IG, YouTube, Boohoo, okay, it don't matter. Whatever you own, it don't matter. You constantly scrolling, and you know you got goals, and you know you got things to do. That is a sign that you are struggling, baby, and you ain't got no structure. And if that's the issue, text the word BUILT to 630-863-3142. Okay. Oh, number three. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the fact that you got them struggles. You want to tell everybody about your struggles. You want to tell everybody about what happened to you. You want to tell everybody about how you had it so bad. We get all that, okay? So put some structure to that thing. If you sitting up here running around, you bleeding on everybody, and you ain't got no structure, because everybody bleeding. Everybody got issues. Whether it's mama issues, daddy issues, whatever type of issues, self issues, whatever issues, women issues, men issues. Everybody have issues. As long as you're breathing, you have issues. Okay? So, the fact that you want to just tell everybody your story, that's a problem. Put some structure on that thing, because I ain't just trying to hear no story, baby. Tell me how you got through that thing. Is your mood changing with what's going on, the situation? Something happened. Now you mad. Now you letting the whole thing just ruin your day. Now, I don't know if you heard the video I did last week. Now, I almost let that happen. I went to the pool and I dropped my phone in the pool, okay? And I felt myself getting upset, and I told my daughter, we about to go. And she was like, I want to go. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not finna let this moment ruin. I'm not finna let this situation ruin. And some kept, first of all, I talk to God a lot. Okay, so that's first of all. So first of all, God was like in my ear, like, girl, don't worry about it, right? But I still felt myself getting upset. That's a problem. You letting the situation. This one right here. Now, a lot of people don't understand. This one right here is a problem. Okay, people do not understand how important this one right here is. I don't know what number this is, but that ain't important what number this is, okay? Because we just going off each problem. Okay, bam, we just going off each problem. So it don't even matter what number it is. But this one right here, sleeping at random times or staying up late consistently. Now, people be like, oh, I can survive off 4 hours of sleep. I can survive off 6 hours of sleep. That's what you think, because that's what you've been doing. No, you've been surviving. That's exactly what you've been doing. It's time to live, and you can't live off of that. That's too little sleep. That's a problem, and people don't understand that. That is definitely a sign that you are struggling and you have no structure at all. You always forgetting things. You always forgetting things because you have no structure. You have no structure. So you're going to forever forget things. You're going to constantly think that you know how to do things. And you're going to constantly think that your struggle should give you a badge of honor. You know, but the world don't work like that. You know what I mean? It don't work like that. So you're going to continue to forget things that you do not have structured. You're going to continue to go through the same system of failed routines, of not doing the things that you really want to do, of not getting to the places that you really want to go, because you are not structured, because you keep forgetting. Why you always talking about you will do something later? Why are you always talking about you will do something later? You always talking about you will do something later because you're in survival mode. You have struggles and no structure. That's why you're sitting up here talking about you would do it later. And guess what? Later never comes. And guess what? The time passed, and guess what? You never do it. You never do. You never do what you said you was gonna do. Clear sign. Clear. Clear. Very clear. Very clear. Baby, you are struggling and you have no structure. Problem. You let your emotions control the whole day. Okay? Your emotions is taking over, baby. Ooh, your emotions is running the show. And when your emotions is running the show, baby, we got a shit show on our hands, all right? That's a problem. That's a problem. Because emotions is in full effect, baby. You can't tell emotions nothing. Because that's when people get to acting crazy. Okay? When them emotions run high, baby, now you letting them emotions affect your mood. And that is a problem. That is a problem. Because you ain't got no structure. If you knew better. Not only do you know better, but you know you supposed to do better. And you know how you supposed to do better, but you don't know how you supposed to do better. No morning routine and no wind down routine. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay? You're in struggle mode. You ain't got no morning routine. Especially, you ain't got no morning routine. You hear those people, I ain't no morning person. Listen, baby, that's when God talks to me the most, baby. Between the hours of 1 and 7, that's when God talks to me the most. Especially between the hours 4:30, 3 in the morning, baby. That before the world wakes up, God is on me. Before the world gets to me, God then got to me. Working with no rest. Working with no rest. And then you like to think you Superwoman or Superman. You love to think that them companies can't survive without you because they didn't pumped your head up and made you think that you is the end all be all. And so you like, yeah, I did this and I did that and I did this. In the meantime, in between time, if something should happen to you right now, that company is gonna nicely replace you. Okay, bam, and bring somebody else on up in there. Baby, you are replaceable with these people that made you think that you are indispensable. That is a problem. That is a problem. That is a problem. Rest. You constantly distracted. Everything. You let everything distract you. Your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, your sister. Everybody distracting you with their problems. You think you can fix everybody's problem. Everybody come to me with their problems. Everybody come to me with their problems. You are a dumping ground. Okay? You are a dumping ground. They dumping they right up on your dumping ground. You're distracted. You're distracted. You're distracted. Them people gonna continue to go on. Some gonna take your advice. Some ain't. Some gonna appreciate it. Some ain't. You better do what you need to do for you. You're being distracted is a problem. Oh, what? You mean to tell me you spending more time consuming? You spending more time consuming than you is creating? That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay? You need to be creating. This is the time. You need to be creating. This is the time. This is the time you need to be creating what you want to say. See, especially if you got struggle. Don't nobody listen. We don't want to hear your damn struggle if you ain't got no structure to it. Tell us how you got through it. Tell us how we could get through it. Tell us if this come up with somebody else, what we need to do. We need. What? What? Okay. You feeling stuck. You feeling stuck. Even though you got that talent, boo. Even though you know how to do something. You stuck. Y'all. So I realized, I'm like, when they used to scout back in the day, they used to come in the hood. You know why? Because the pain, the most pain was in the hood, but the most talent was in the hood. That's why black people is so talented. A lot of black people who went through pain, baby, you got something. Stop playing. Stop sitting up here scrolling and you stuck because you got something to offer. Isolating and pulling away from accountability. Okay? Accountability, sometimes people want you to take accountability and you like, I'm not taking accountability for that. That's, that's something you want me to take accountability for. I'm not taking accountability for that. You know what I mean? So if it's a thing to whereas you need to know what accountability is, okay, and you like, okay, well, what do I need to take accountability for? Because it is some things that we need to take accountability for, and you don't grow until you take accountability for those things. So you will forever be stuck if you never take accountability. But also it's very important to know what you are taking accountability for. Okay? So again, isolation and pulling away from your praying. You hear people like, I'm just gonna pray about it. I'm just gonna pray about it. I'm just gonna pray about it. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, it's fine to pray, but faith without works is dead. You need to do the work, baby. Okay, you're not just praying. Okay, God give you a brain. God give you ability to move. God give you instructions. It's up to you to ask, seek, and knock for those instructions. Okay, so when we're talking about you praying, you just praying and that's it. Praying for change, but you ain't got no structure. You don't have no way. What you doing to change? We need some actions. We need a system going. We need some structure here. Okay? Living from chaos to chaos to crisis to crisis. You all in the chaos. Every time you look up, it's a problem. It's a problem. That was me. That was me. That was me. Every time you look up, baby, it was a problem. I'm like, what is this? Hold on. God, what is this? I don't want this. I don't like this. I need some peace. I need some quiet because something is wrong. All these people and their mama is coming to me, and I have a problem with that. And I was living in crisis myself. How do you help somebody when you living in crisis yourself? You cannot help anybody when you living in crisis yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And I tell you that over and over. And I just so happen to have an empty cup. Ain't nothing in here you can't pour. You can't. Confusing movement with progress. Confusing movement with progress. That's a problem. Just because you moving don't mean you making progress, boo. No. 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 And people make this mistake all the time. Oh, I'm moving. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You know, they rant to you. They busy schedule. They rant to you what they got going on. Okay, but what? No progress. No progressio. That's a problemo. Okay? 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 Okay. Now this one is personal. Okay? Because this one right here is like low self-care. Okay, low self-care because survival mode is taking over. That's the problem. You know, you can't really do for yourself the things that you used to do. You can't really do for yourself the things you like to do. You can't really do for yourself the things you need to do. Okay, and that is a problem. I feel it. I feel that wholeheartedly, you know. When you're not able to do the things that you want to do, you know, that can keep you up and that can help you and that can really structure you, that is a problem. But that's an easy fix, because if the situation is like, okay, you struggling and you don't really have the funds and you can't really do the things you need to do as far as self-care go, I'm here to tell you, go to YouTube. You can get self-care stuff for free. For the free 99. Okay, you can go to YouTube. It is people all the time teaching about self-care. So you make sure it's some things you can do for free. You know, just simply getting out in the sun for about 15 minutes a day. Just going outside in that sort of atmosphere. That is something that's free. Nature is super free. Okay, just talking to a friend. But you got to make sure that friend is safe. Okay, I talk to y'all about this all the time. Talking to unsafe people who gossip, people who talk about you, people who magnify your business, those people are problematic, okay? And they would make that. Okay, so today was signs that you are struggling. You got the struggle. You have the struggle. We all got to struggle, right? But you have no structure. Every day you waking up and you don't know what today gonna bring. Okay, you got that struggle and you don't know what's gonna happen today, and you cannot keep affording to go through life not knowing, waking up every day not adjusting or not planning, intentionalizing your life or living on purpose. That is a problem. Okay, but if you need help with that, text the word BUILT to 630-863-3142. Again, text the word BUILT to 630-863